Hello, Twitch universe. Um, we have a bunch of people already in chat. I appreciate. What's up, Andy? DC's People's Champ. We got Low Base guy. So Low Base guy is actually the founder of our community, the web creative community. So if you're an early listener or listening on our YouTube after the fact, it's a kind of a cool group. We're doing a goals tonight for a subathon. It'll be interesting to see if any of it works. So if people want to gift 5 subs, I'll make them an animated emote. If they want to give 2, I'll make them a static emote. And those effects will be there all night long. And it's pinned to the top there. So let me do a couple of things real quickly, and then we'll get started with the podcast. But I am excited that we got some wins to talk about. So let me just turn off this and turn on my NHL graphic, and I'm going to quickly stream over here live on Facebook. Hold on. All right, be right back.
So, Gil, you're going to do our Facebook page?
I'm trying to find the link.
Okay.
I can't find it. I can't find it.
No, I'm sorry. It's not live yet. I haven't. That was my own Twitch introduction. I'm sorry. I should have specified. We haven't gone live on Facebook yet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. All right. We have a whole party happening in the green screen in the back room, so I was entertaining them for a second. And so people who are following along with this Wizards game, I don't know why you would, but brutal right now. But it's really funny because one of my cousins is actually in town right now, and he is from Philly, so he's pretty happy with the score. So so at least somebody in this household is happy with that. And yeah, so
one of these days we're going to go live and it's going to be like, check out the Wizards kicking ass, and this is amazing. And it's going to be for the entire time, not just like maybe and
then they just fall apart per usual. Yeah, I can hope for that for sure. All right, let's see. Broadcast meeting. All right, let's just I mean, who cares what I put in the Facebook information, because they'll probably want me to delete it anyway. Share to a page, and all right, we're gonna do 5 seconds of silence and we're gonna go live. See if this works. All right, I think we're live on Facebook, even though that link said that we didn't, but you never know. But I think we are live. We are on Twitch and we're on Facebook. This is episode number 325. I'm calling it a birthday party and fall season finale. It's also a subathon live on Twitch. So thank you for everyone tuning in already on Twitch and on Facebook. It should be a fun show, a little bit more laid back than our normal show. A lot of sports games going on in the man cave. Some good, some not so good. I could put up the score for this basketball game, but I don't know if it's even really worth it at this point. But suffice to say, we are getting blown out by the 76ers. And we're losing 135 to 93 currently.
Ouch.
You're
So
95. I'm sorry, 95. There's 320 left.
Okay, now.
Just because I did so much work to get this graphic to work, I'm gonna actually, showcase it just for a second so people can see how bad it truly is. But yeah, so here's the scorebug widget that I created. And you can see that is now 130 5 to 95 with 3 minutes remaining in that. So yeah, we're currently, if you're following on Twitch, we have a subathon in effect, so people can give bits or subs, and I will make them emotes in the new year. We've all unlocked 4 brand new animated emote slots, thanks to Twitch. And so that means that people will have more animated emotes. I, for now, put some of my old favorites in that have been taken away over the years, and so people can see those temporarily. But yeah, it should be awesome. Ted Flies Music says they could totally come back. Yeah, they ain't dead yet. So yeah, if anybody wants emotes for me to make them, it's a lot cheaper to do it through this subathon. It's like $10 for an emote for 2 subs, and then 25, which is a pretty good rate for animated as well. So that will be available all night as part of the subathon. And yeah, it should be a cool night. I'm excited that the hockey went so well, so we have something positive to talk about. The football team couldn't lose this week, which was fantastic because they had a bye week. And the basketball team, I think, will go winless based on what I'm looking at right now. So we will have a Wizards roundtable actually live in the man cave in the second hour. Some of my friends, including Tim and Arun, who are always on the show, are here live, including other friends like John Benson, who's sometimes in chat, also will be live. And I may even have my cousin show up, who is a 76ers fan, because maybe somebody could be happy about that score. So that'll all be in hour 2. We even might have a Carol sighting. I don't know. He's taking a nap. He's had a long day, so we'll see if he wakes up from that nap. So I'll cross my fingers that we appearance for that.
Wait.
Is
he here?
Here.
It's like Beetlejuice. You said
right,
his name.
You say his name enough times, and then he suddenly appears. That is pretty amazing. I don't know if he heard me say it, but that's hilarious either way.
There he is.
And then the New York Life guy himself. Your background, Carol, is your New York life, just so you know.
Yeah, I had to, you know how it is, always working, always on the
always
grind.
Business. There you go.
In the office as always, man. And that's one of the reasons why I can't be on the show. I'm always working with New York Life, man.
I'm so happy to see you. This is actually, if people are paying attention, it's the first appearance of Carol on this fall season of Sports on the Hill podcast. So it's
awesome.
a rare sighting. It makes me very happy on a bye week, no less.
Yes.
Carol, I will say, as much as I have missed you, and I am beyond proud of you and everything else, I was kind of hoping you would have had that Wilson jersey on tonight.
I was thinking about
but that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to. I was thinking about it, so I mean, I might got to make an appearance with it next time.
Okay.
But, in the middle of a quick meeting, and I was like, "Oh, I lost track of time. Let me jump on real quick before I get caught up in some other stuff." So it's always good to be on. It's been a while, a long time since I've actually been on behind the computer. I know I jumped on a couple of times last year on my phone. But I appreciate you guys. As always, I appreciate you picking up the slack for Sports on the Hill in my absence, starting my new career, and appreciate the kind words and the kudos. Definitely, I love the passion and the love that I have for Sports on the Hill has now transcended into my professional career with New York Life, and I'm truly enjoying everything I'm doing. I'm actually... Funny thing is, now that I'm in the financial planning game, I'm actually in touch with more athletes and players than I was when I was podcasting. So stay on the lookout. I actually had a meeting with Gary Clark last week, ex Redskins Super Bowl champion 2 times. And I'm about to possibly partner up with him on some business ventures. And it's opening the door to some of the current athletes that I'm looking to get in front of. So stay tuned. You never know what you might see popping up with Sports on the Hill that I might be able to get incorporated with some of the connections that I'm making on this side. And since we're in the hockey segment, I don't know if you guys saw, I just got some breaking news. Matter of fact, I want to get it right. I don't want to misquote the breaking news about the Capitals and the Wizards. Possibility.
Oh, moving to Alexandria?
Yes. Oh, see, you're already on top of it. I just got it.
Carol, I promise I have grown up a little bit while you've been gone, and I'm trying. I am so trying to be on top of things.
I see. She beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
Because I had one of my folks just send it to me as I was working. And
Okay, but I've heard this before, like where
Yeah.
it's leverage, where they like try to dangle something else out there to try to get more money to like beef up.
Well, they've actually approved a proposal for a design 8 million square foot sports mixed use complex in Alexandria for the Wizards and the Capitals. The Mystics will still stay in DC, but they're definitely trying to get there. Like you said, Robbie, it's happened before, but now the legislature, has passed the proposal. So I don't think it's ever got to this stage where it's been approved to actually move
But
forward.
they have to move though. The ownership has to decide they want to go with that proposal over, because now it's a chess game. Now
Well,
you take
word
that
on the
back.
street. Word on the street is Mr. Leonsis is looking for the best deal.
And he
Yeah.
said, and they also said it's going to be a Monumental Sports headquarters also.
Oh,
So they're
dang.
Ted has a huge monopoly on this. And monopoly doesn't have to mean bad all the times, but he has a monopoly on sports and media in this area right now. So we have to watch him closely to see how he takes it, because on my Verizon, I don't like to give plugs when I'm not getting sponsored, but I noticed that Monumental Sports is being taken off of some of the lower stream sports packages and only going to be offered on the top of the line packages. So
Wow.
that's the first time that's happened. So it's funny that with Daniel Snyder, if he would have did something like that, the whole world would have been up in arms. But Ted Leonsis does it because he's had success with the Capitals and the Wizards, and nobody says anything. So just giving a different
fair.
narrative spin on it.
He gets a lot of more leeway winning a Stanley Cup. We haven't gotten shit.
True.
A long time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So I haven't been around. I've been watching the Cap, so I haven't had a chance to check out your recap. So what do you guys think of the dynamic that's being put out there now, not just about the team, but about Ovi? He's only got 6 goals. He's on pace for 20 goals. Is he going to catch Gretzky? Then they're talking about the team. Oh, yeah, they're winning, but they're not going to be able to sustain this, 2-1, 4-1. The New Jersey's going to be too much. They're not going to stay in number 6, and this team is going to get better. And nobody's talking about the Capitals possibly getting better, and the fact that they're winning without Ovi scoring goals, and they're having a new coach. You're missing a potential Hall of Fame center that just retired, and you have some injuries, and yet and still they're still beating teams they aren't supposed to beat. Granted, they lose some teams they shouldn't lose to, the Ducks. I don't know. But why is it that the narrative is there? And with the power play, oh, it's so bad. You can't be on top all the time. How many years were we on top of the power play and top percentage, and Ovi getting 15, 20 goals on the power? Now, the first year that in the first 30 games, oh, he's lost the touch. Oh, this. What do y'all feel about this? Because it's really infuriating me, because how I love Ovi, the way they're talking down on him. So please, what is you guys' insight on this situation right now?
Yeah,
I'm going to go 100% with Gil.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Let's get one thing straight here. Well, first Ovi, because he drives the train still. And no doubt about that. He's still driving the train. Mm-hmm. He's contributing. Okay. I don't think people understand this. He is contributing. May not show up on the score sheet, but he's contributing. He's hitting people. He's assisting. He's getting on the scoreboard, and the goals will come. They'll come. I trust the process. That's the thing here. The goals will come. Maybe it won't be 40, 50 goals, but it'll be close by the year's end. They will start to come. Trust me. When he's just getting his groove back. He really is. I'm not just saying that. Watch the games. I'm telling you. There are some games where when he's on the ice, he's feeling it, and there's nobody else can match him. Yeah, I am not worried. I am not worried about Alex Ovechkin at all.
So real quickly, because some people are saying ever since his dad died that he hasn't been the same guy. And
no.
Is there any truth to that? I don't know.
It might look like that, but if that were true, then we wouldn't see efforts like 13 shots on goal versus Toronto. Okay. And him pushing people out of the way to get a goal in another game, and him hitting people, and him doing the things that he normally does. It's not coming at the same rate. But I say cut the man some slack. He's 38 years old. Trust me, when you get older, sometimes it takes a little longer to get the motor running, but it'll come. The goals will come. Everything's still there.
Well,
We're not
especially as
talking about
everyone else
cripple.
is getting hot, then they're going to key on other people and they're going to leave him open saying, oh, he's washed up. And eventually he's going to,
I
because
mean,
he still has
I've
that shot.
seen, I've seen it's been a couple of times he's been so close to getting the goal, and it'll just clang off of something or deflect, or the goalie will just get enough of it to get it to go around. So I'm never concerned about him scoring, and he's always got off to a fast start. That's I'm like, this is the first, like let's say the third time in his career that he's had a slow start, but this is the slow. I'm like, okay, but what, 18 years? Can we get him man some slack? Come on now.
100%. I mean, my big thing is, you know what? He's so persistent. And when he is out there, he is always giving 100%. He's not like, oh, he's injured. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that, whatever else. And I think if anything, losing his dad is going to keep him motivated to do that much more. I do think that the only minuscule excuse I could think of is when his wife is in Russia, which she has been for the last couple of weeks. And I think with his kids, she's doing her modeling thing and they have that little separation. He's a family guy and I 100% respect that. But you know what? He also has given as much as Ovi can give, like Gil said it at 38. So I don't doubt that we're going to see him, scoring. Are we going to see the numbers that everyone was hoping? I don't know, maybe not. But you know what? I have mad respect for him as a player. And the fact that he comes out, he's a leader, and he is one of the first people to congratulate and cheer on whomever scored. And that to me is a phenomenal leader right there.
Yeah, he's a true team player. Like you say, he's happy for everyone else. He's happiest for them is when he scores himself. So,
yeah.
And you see that still now. That's why, I don't understand how anybody can have anything negative to say about Ovi unless they're a Crosby fan. Because
my favorite is people from Philly are trying to troll us and stuff like that, and message boards and stuff. So I hope that the game he gets off the snide is the game upcoming against Philly.
No doubt.
Hilarious, right?
I mean, I don't even know. Philly fans are Philly fans, but what else the Flyers have to talk about? It's not the 80s. That's not the last time they went to the
had a pretty
Stanley
good
Cup, ain't it?
Season, but not. I don't think that they have a lot that they can rest their hat on.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you even in here? Have y'all had a Hall of Fame goal scorer in y'all franchise? Like, please, poof, be gone. I don't even want to hear it. I guess the only issue I really have, can't even say issue. One of the biggest things I've noticed with the Caps this year under the new coach is I'm not too fond of it. The wraparound passes and the drop passes. I've been noticing they've been doing that a lot more, and that's where a lot of the turnovers are coming in. Have you guys noticed that? Is that a staple of his coaching, or is that just something new? I'm asking you guys because you analyze more than I get a chance to now.
Everything's a work in progress. Everything bad habits that lead to bad things. They got an eye on that. They'll see that. And the big thing is getting out of their own zone. If they can do that better than what they've been doing, then the goals against will start to come down. But stuff like you were talking about, CP3, that and the fact that they get pinned in their own zone for, I counted it once, 2 minutes and 30 seconds in one time. They're pinned in their own zone. They can't get it out. Their defense is tired. And then next thing you know, back of our net, pucks in the back of the net. What did you expect? Almost lost the last game because of that.
Yeah.
And
to me, it's like
that's the big thing.
Yeah, to me, it's like a cause and effect. It's like when they're about to break out, then they'll do a wraparound pass expecting somebody to be there. They're not there. The defender steps up and catches it off. That's like, even though I wasn't a Laviolette fan, it was a more direct boom, boom, out the zone. Now you see more of trying to lead the player and doing wraparound passes around the defender, which we didn't see. I know it's a lot of younger players on the squad now that wasn't there last year. So that's what I'm saying. Is that more of a younger thing that they are trying to get more speed and finesse in the game? Or is that a staple of the coaches, plan a method of attack? Because I think that's one of the reasons they do get him then is when they try those indirect passes off the boards and wrap around, and then the defenseman steps up or intercepts the pass, and then one guy already left the zone, and like you say, boom, it's in the back of the net because it's 4-on-5 because they thought they had the breakout because of the wraparound pass. It's like a catch-22. One is responsible for the other. That's why I'm like, I'm not watching every day, but when I do watch, I notice this is the trend. So kind of like what the Commanders like, why won't the coach address this if we say that we're having too much defensive zone time and you see that the passes are leading to that? Why won't we practice to not do that so we won't have that issue anymore?
I will say real quickly, Carol, that indirect passes are up across the league. So it seems to be something that's just a more popular, bounces off the wall and stuff like that. So I don't think it's something that's just a Capitals thing. But yeah, I do think that putting the puck into space though does work. When we have not gotten it to work all the time, but to sort of fast forward in the most recent game, a really great puck was put into space, that 39 caught up to and scored on. And so the play is there because we've got some quick skaters, north and south. So if you can get the key is you got to get the sauce right. You mess it up and then someone takes it and it goes the other way. So it's an important thing. Do you think we should go through the games in order? Or I don't know how much time I have with you, Carol. So that's why
Now I'll let you guys break it down. Like I said, I haven't been watching closely.
Okay.
I've been watching, but not watching. I guess the last thing, my last parting shot question is with Kuzi last week, getting a healthy scratch, coming back, game 700, having that beautiful goal, even though they didn't win, unlike the Tom Wilson 700 game when he had the hat trick. Got to get my shot out of time. I wasn't here for it. Still haven't had a chance to do the video, but I will. I'm still trying to get a meeting with him also with the boxing.
You'll remember the little people in your life.
Like I said, I'm just started. I haven't got a lot of Capitals traction yet, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I got to give a shout out to Tom for that. But what do y'all think about Kuzi? I mean, I know he hasn't been the Kuzi of old. He's not going to be me and Robbie. I think we spoke about it when he had his substance abuse issues and changing around in the dynamic that plays on an athlete and the fact that he's still able to still be in the league. At least some folks, after they have that battle, you never hear from them again because it was such a part of their character and the way they were built. I don't really see. I've seen people talking bad about him and saying he's trash. I haven't really seen a lack of effort on his part on the ice, but you can tell he's not in sync. So I mean, I think that healthy scratch did help him because he came back and he did look more aggressive in our next game and made a hell of a goal with one of my, with the fancy stick handling. So what do you guys take on Kuzi and what do y'all feel about it?
Yeah, Gil, I'll go to you.
I think he needed. This was him being benched for that game against Arizona. Yeah, it's a wake-up call. It's a sports cliche, but yeah, it's a wake-up call. It's a slap in the face that he needed. And I think he was happy with the new setup, but what is it? Sometimes you get comfortable in your job, so comfortable you forget to do your job. I've been there. I know. And, maybe that's what happened to him. And maybe it wasn't a lack of effort, but he just got so comfortable with the way he'd been playing that it looks like he's not putting out any effort when he was, and he just wasn't getting the result. And sometimes you get stuck in that rut. And this was the coaching staff's way of saying, hey, look, we know what you can do, but you got to sit and watch what the rest of the team is doing without you. Maybe that'll wake you up. And it did. I think it has. I think we're going to see a different player for the rest of the season.
I have respect, and Gil and I spoke about this in our podcast. Like, I have got respect for Carberry for benching him, and it's not even so much a bench. It was hey, you're gonna have like a mental reset, and I appreciate that as a coach, because I feel like it's a very kind way of giving the humble pie. It's to say to someone like Kuzi, like, hey, I know you were in 2018 Stanley Cup. I know that you were a huge factor, but you know what? 5 years later, we expect this from you, and this is what we're seeing, and therefore, here's the bench. And sometimes, you know, and it's not even so much with him, I don't think with ego, as much as I think it's just it was time to sit down and kind of reflect on like, oh, you know, where are you in this game? Like, where's your mind? Like, you got to be 100% caps, not kind of, you know, 75-25 or 50-50, whatever it is. So I have mad respect for the coach for that, because not only did he do that with a vet player, but then he did the same thing with Milano. And so it's, you know, there isn't something like, oh, I'm just going to sit out, you know, newer players versus vets. He just across the board was like, if you're not at the standard, this is what's going to happen. And I think that that's admirable. And I think Kuzi needed it, and obviously it worked, because we certainly saw. I don't know if it was more effort, but there was a difference in him on the ice when he came back after the healthy scratch.
Definitely. I was trying to find, I saw something that the Caps were going after defenseman or something. I'm trying to find his name. Did you guys hear about that
Ethan
or
Bear.
something? Yeah, I want to know who he is and what type of player is he, and what do you think, if they make this move, it will make a huge impact on the team?
I don't know, Gil, you would probably know more than I would, or Robbie.
I've heard, I don't know the whole story with him. I've heard about him. I've heard good things about him. I haven't heard too many bad things about him. He's with the Edmonton Oilers right now, their organization. Caps desperately need to get younger on the back line. I know that much. And he's 26, if I remember right. And I can't remember, but I think he's also a right shooting defenseman who they also need. So they need to get younger, better, faster, and shoot right-handed as far as their
They're
defense
like being
goes.
aggressive going after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I as long as they're not, you know, trade the next 5 draft picks
Right.
aggressive, I wouldn't mind that, but yeah, they need to start looking in that direction because, well, let's see. Jensen's over 30. TVR just hit 30. Faravari, Carlson's way over 30. He's still good, but, you know, he's not getting any younger. Faravari and the 2 youngsters, Alexeyev and Johansson, who've been sitting, are really the only younger guys on the D-core right now. So they need to start looking that direction now. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind that, but I'm not 100% sure if he's the answer, but I like the fact that they're at least looking.
I never really had an issue with the D. I mean, I like Rand Reams, like, even though, you know, he skates well, he plays solid defense. Jensen at the beginning of the season, he was kind of throwing me off, but he's rounded into form lately from what I've seen. I really haven't seen that many defensive issues. Maybe, like I said, I haven't been watching this closely, but I really haven't seen with the age and the so-called lack of speed on the back end. I really haven't seen that much. I haven't seen a lot of odd man rushes or breaks, you know, with the defense, you know, being in bad position. So I guess I got to pay attention a little bit more to the defense, I guess.
Well, it's not as bad now, but my fear is that if they keep the people they've got, it's going to get worse. So yeah, they need to start getting younger on the back line is my concern. What they got now will get them by, but it won't get them a championship. So that's what I'm looking at.
All right. I guess one more question before I get out of here, because I know we've had some draft picks. I know last year we drafted supposed to be a top guy that's supposed not to replace Alex, but supposed to score like him. So when are we going to start seeing some of these youngsters that with this talent coming up to the big boys to see if they can contribute, like we see, Connor Bedard, even though he's I don't know, he's negative 13, but because he's scoring goals, that's all they're talking about. But I'm like, he's negative 13. I don't care if he got 11 goals and 18 assists. When he's on the ice, he's getting beat defensively. I don't care about that. He's young, so I get it. But when are the Caps going to start infusing some of this young talent we've heard about to bringing it up to the big ranks to see if they can do the same thing up here?
Yeah.
It's a good question. So there's a couple of parts to that. There are some pretty good people at Hershey who are almost ready to come up, but he's not even playing at that level yet. But we have players actually at the University of Boston that are very good that we can potentially bring up in, I would say, 2 or 3 years. So I still think it's probably about, depending on which players we're talking about, it's still between 1 and 3 years out. Gil, what are some of your thoughts on our prospects?
Okay, so the last first round draft pick, Ryan Leonard. I would say he is probably going to hit the big club in 2 seasons. Miroshnichenko, the first round draft pick before him. I would be very surprised if he's not with in the Capitals lineup next year. Might take a little bit longer, might be a mid-season replacement, but those right now, those are the 2 stud prospects. On defense, maybe Vincent Iorio, you'll see him in 2 years. And there's another guy who got drafted in the 2nd round, Andrew Cristal. He is supposed to be very good. He's very surprised he slipped, one of those that slipped down to the 2nd round and should not have. Going to be very interesting where he winds up. He might take a little longer, but the $1 million question is, when are we going to start seeing these guys? We're probably going to see some of them as soon as next year, or one of them at least next year. A lot of them in year 2, and then this is the thing. I've been beating this drum for a while. It's a 3-year plan. Year after that is when they're really going to slam the foot on the gas and get a lot of these younger guys in form. You're going to see them pretty much all in the lineup, because that's when, for one thing, that's when the contracts start to run out. I think Carlson's will run out. TJ Oshie's contract will run out by then. Some of the older guys we got, their contracts will be done. So it's just a matter of time, but 3 years is going to be the target.
Yeah. Thanks for the update, Gil. I know you guys know the minor league report better than I do, in the draft and all of that. So I guess it does make sense to have the new coach with him being down there at Hershey, with the plan with them coming
Give him
up.
a couple of years to try to get this built up and stuff like that. We were never supposed to do much this year. People, we're in and out of that last playoff spot, which is, it's good. It's good practice for our guys. We're still, can bring some players up and see how they do, including the goalie, who is phenomenal. Unfortunately, there's a lot of question marks about Darcy Kemper. I thought he played pretty well yesterday. I mean,
gotta talk about the goalies. Yeah, Lindgren has been playing lights out from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And
he's got to be our starter now. People are like, when is he going to be officially the starter? I'm like, first of all, we'll never come out and say that, because you paid one guy more. So there's never going to be like, why would you? You don't need to, right?
Right.
See on the ice who's getting the big games. The New York game on a Saturday night against a big division rival, who got the start, right? And then the next night is against a bottom feeder team, in Chicago, who got the start. I mean, you can kind of read between the lines a little bit. People are like, when are they going to announce it? I'm like, they're not going to. So
they could be waiting for him, or could be waiting for Kemper to round back into form. So
right, exactly. You never want to like throw someone away. You need multiple good goalies on a roster. Think about, people are so quick to forget what happened the season we won the cup, right? I mean, Braden Holtby had a horrible season for a huge stretch of that thing, and people wanted him out, right? I mean, so, and then, and then Grubauer started playing well, and they're like, why don't you name him the starter? And then they did. And then he lost the first 2 games, and then Holtby came back and we won. So, I mean, it's funny to be like, don't you want to have someone who's won a cup on your roster, maybe catch fire at the end of the season and have him on your team? Like, I just like, it's guaranteed contract. You can't get rid of him. And there's very few teams that I think right now that would trade for him, maybe Edmonton, but there aren't a lot out there,
Right.
So,
I mean, it's to me, it's been, the goaltending hasn't been atrocious. I mean, he's let some in that shouldn't, but he's stopped some that shouldn't have. To me,
came last week that we were live and we covered a period that was like and it started right when we started, and it was a 5-0 period we covered live on this show.
Oh, the
last
Arizona game,
It
yeah.
was
I mean,
beautiful.
you're gonna have some you're gonna throw away, but then you're gonna have some that you're gonna that they won that they shouldn't have won. So I mean, it just sucks that it was live on air that we go down 5-0. But I
I
mean,
made a whole fancy scoreboard that had like the live clock and everything. So you're just watching it.
we tried to be optimistic, like, come on, guys.
I wish
But
I'd have known because I would have messaged you guys to not do all that because Arizona, I know Arizona's been playing some lights out hockey.
Well,
They're playing solid
one thing we
defense.
didn't talk about last week is they were the Stanley Cup killers. 5 games in a row, they went backwards and knocked out all the Cup winners in a row.
That's
yeah,
why I wish I'd have messaged you because they did the
schedulers
same thing on
did that,
NHL
but
Network.
that was
I wish
so
that because they at
crazy.
5 o'clock they did the same thing on NHL Network, breaking down how they had just the message y'all like, it's not looking good. Maybe abort mission. Maybe do another sideline report because I
right.
don't think this
And we
is
had
gonna
a
turn out well.
and it sucks because one of my friends is a coach, a hockey coach, and he came on to talk to us about the Vegas game. He flew out for that Vegas game.
That's so great.
And so they lost that one too. And I'm like, oh, this is a rough segment here. But I still, he was phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, it was a rough start to the week. But what just happened? Oh wow, Tina just gave 1,000 bits. Thank you, Tina. I don't even know how that sound effect happened on my computer, but that was awesome. Tina French just gave 1,000 bits. We've had a couple of gifted subs earlier for the subathon, so I really appreciate all the support tonight from all my friends on Twitch. But yeah, I mean, I do want to just quickly just talk about the games, and then you can get your thoughts. We won't break it all down, but we're almost through the segment anyway, so you may as well. So I mean, we don't need to talk about the Arizona game. The Dallas game was a really exciting back and forth game. Carol, I don't know if you saw that one, but the Dylan Strome goal off of the assist, by Anthony Mantha, which was a drop pass, which I know that you were questioning.
But it works sometimes. When it
does
don't,
work.
it sucks.
But the outlet pass by Alexander Ovechkin is what shows me that he's not done yet, right? And
Yeah.
it's a pivotal point, 1,500, only the second active player to hit 1,500 points. Him and Crosby, and it was his 10th assist of the season, but that was a pivotal moment because it was back and forth all the through. We scored first, they scored, then we scored 2, then they scored 2. It just kind of went this back and forth thing, and I just felt like that was an important moment. I thought that they were going to really come away and win that game at that point, because they go up 4-3. Unfortunately, they scored a goal right back, made it 4-4. And they got 1 goal in the shootout, and I gotta give the credit to that goalie. He was Wedgwood or whatever. He was
Wedgwood.
he was on his game.
Yeah.
And it was a great game, and we really lost it in the fact that we had a power play in overtime that we couldn't convert on. I think it's rare that ever happens, and then you go into the shootout and you win it anyway. Like I can't tell you how many times I feel if that happens. Just like a momentum thing. But some good opportunities on that power play. It wasn't completely for naught. But Carol, did you watch any of that game?
Yeah, I watched the game, and ironically, I watched the game the day before when Dallas, they were on a back-to-back, and they were, I think it was Detroit, I believe, and they were down 3-1 going into the third. They put up 3 goals. They still lost, but they got the point in overtime. So when the Caps were playing and they went up by 1 goal and it was close going into the third, I was like, I know Dallas got another gear, and I was hoping that the Capitals would be able to step up to it because I was worried because I saw the night before, even though it was a back-to-back, but I saw what Dallas can do, and the goalie was locked in. He was locked in the night before in that third period, and I had concern. And like you said, when they had the power play and weren't able to capitalize on it, I had that same bad feeling. I hope they can figure out the power play because now with Nikki gone and Oshie finally back into the lineup, but it seems like every month or so he's out with an injury because he's taking some awkward falls and awkward hits. So I mean, it's frustrating because you see it's like almost there. But it's like, but they're not scoring now. They're the worst power player in the league. Mm-hmm. And now everybody's harping on that. So I can't wait for it to start clicking or for them to make an adjustment and find a way to get it to work more often. But it was a good game. But I did have a little worry going into the third period after I saw Dallas the night before.
Well, Dallas always has our number. I can't tell you. I've gone to 3 Dallas games in a row, and they've all been L's, and I've just given up going to them at this point. I just like I'm like I've seen enough. It's like once was a thing. Second was maybe it's a coincidence or whatever. But yeah, 3 times was enough for me. So I'm done going to those games in Washington. I want to get Gil and Anna's thoughts on those real quickly, and then I'm going to get Carol's thoughts on the last game, and then I'll let Carol go. But Gil, what were your thoughts on? I know C4 went to that game; it was a close one.
Yeah. I did like that they got the 4 goals in regulation. I did not like that they gave up the lead twice in the game. But again, everything's a work in progress. I don't think anybody really played badly. I think this is one of those. This is just one of those games where they're learning. They're learning how to handle different situations. They're learning how to play with a lead, and things like this when they happen. You don't forget them. When you go in thinking you're going to win in the last 10 minutes of the game, and the game slips away. That leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, and so you learn pretty quick, what not to do to let that happen. So I'm disappointed, but I mean, you lose a lead twice, that sticks with you. You figure out sooner than later what to do to not let that happen again.
Yeah, Anna, what were your thoughts on that one?
For me, honestly, I mean, like ad nauseum, gonna say they didn't play their 60 minutes, which we knew. But I will say on the positive, I am like probably the only one here that's like becoming this Protus fan. Like I just am pulling for this guy.
I've been feeling Protus too. Yeah, I've been feeling.
Okay, see, Carol, this is why I've missed you.
21. That was
yeah.
Who used to wear 21? It was some. He gave me flash.
Looks like
21.
It's not a 3, but I'll take it. But it's yeah.
He
Divide by
has to
3.
me. He has been stepping up because you have been hearing his name more. He's been making some plays. He's been being more aggressive, and I have been noticing him. So yeah, I'm not too sure what position he plays or what line he's on, but I remember hearing his name a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. And like, he scored. And I was like, great. We Gil and I talked the other day that Strom was kind of I'm not even gonna say it was a slump. It was a couple of games that we had not said his name, and all of a sudden here we go with 2 goals, and then Kuzi redeeming himself. And so for me, it's the potential still there. Still not the 60 minutes, but I'm happy with who scored. And I thought it was a good game too. I know we all hate the shootout, but whatever.
yeah. Real quickly, Carol, did you watch either of the games this weekend? If you did, I'll keep you up.
I watched both of them.
All right, so
I took a mental break yesterday from work. Yeah, I got a chance to catch him. I had a busy week, so I was in the house for most of the week and had to run out a couple of times. But that's the beauty of working from home. You can cut out when you want to. So I took off, and I definitely did catch both of the games. The Chicago game yesterday, and what was the other game?
Ranger game. So I'll go through the Ranger game that was actually on my birthday. Yeah. So this was, last week I posed the question to the podcast, should I, put all my eggs in the basket and go to the game, or should I be nervous and do something else with my birthday? And we all agreed that I should take Liz out to dinner, and the dinner was phenomenal. We did a really great dinner out. We did fondue, which is kind of a fun thing to do as a couple, and it's like intimate, and so it's nice. We haven't had a date night like that in a long time. But while we were doing that, the Sonny Milano scored 43 seconds in. Anthony Mantha, who I loved because I was turning 39, so I had to wear the shirt, right? So I turned 39. Number 39 scores 143 in the second period. Tom Wilson gets an unassisted goal, so here we go. I have props. So up 3-0. Then Abe Kubel, who got the 4th goal, his 2nd on the season. By the way, it's Tom Wilson's 9th goal on the season. He has more goals than Ovechkin. Mantha's got 6 goals, which is, I think, right up there with Ovi on the team too. So I'm happy that Mantha, I know it's a contract year and people are like, oh, here we go. But this trade has gone up and down in its value over the course of time. People have questioned this trade many, many times. People liked Verana, people didn't like, Mantha, blah, 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 blah. Verano just got waived, I believe, today.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought he was in. Wasn't he in St. Louis?
Yeah,
Yep,
he
they
Yeah.
waived him.
he was waived today. So,
Wow.
I you know,
I think we know who the winner is.
yeah. So I mean, it took a while to get us here, and I don't like to say that because I liked Verano a lot. We all did, we all thought he had, great potential.
Absolutely.
And but ultimately he couldn't keep his head in it, and that's
NHL is not
unfortunate.
for everybody. NHL,
Yeah.
that's why they got the KHL. That's why they got to oversee. The NHL isn't for everybody, just like the NFL and the NBA isn't. So, I mean, he has the talent, and if he's in the right situation, I thought Detroit would be good because they're going through their rebuild. If he could have stayed there, because they're actually playing, decent hockey. I thought that he would be, still there. I didn't even know he was in St. Louis till I watched the Detroit game, and so he wasn't on the roster. So
Yeah.
it's sad, but I mean, he got a ring. And he always, like I said, the KHL and other stuff. But Mantha, he's been definitely impressing me this year. I know a lot of folks last year, everybody's talking about cut him, he sucks, yada yada. And I was always saying, give it time. You can't get rid of him because of the contract situation. So let it ride out and see what happens. Maybe he wasn't 100% healthy. Maybe it took him some time to get comfortable.
Maybe different coach, different scenario.
Yeah, so
younger talent. He had some additional speed, so that way, because when he gets ahead of steam, he's great. And so if he's got other quick guys and that could set that sauce pass to him, we haven't gotten to that game yet, but I mean, that goal is
his length. That's the major thing. His size, with him being that tall and having that long stick, he's able to get those saucer passes and reach. He might not be the fastest, but he damn sure going to outreach you for the puck because he's so damn tall. So it was I mean, I didn't really have an issue with it. I'm never as critical as some fans are, being an ex-athlete. So I know ebb and flow what goes with it. Sometimes it takes time to develop, to get comfortable. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm not all ready to say fire him, cut him, yada yada yada. But I like the way he's been playing this year, and he looks like he wants to be out there. And I just got to go back to that Tom Wilson goal. That's the thing of beauty. Started with the forecheck at the other end, and then hustle, nice sauce pass, and then him showing the offensive skill that he has that nobody wants to give him credit for because he's such a tyrant and such a dirty player and should never play in a league again. But nobody wants to talk about his offensive skill. And as we always say, if he was on your team, you'll love him.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I do think it's kind of funny if New York Life is the thing next to the horrifying acts.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I'm hoping they're watching. I'm hoping they're watching.
It's the horrifying acts of violence. But anyway, Ed, what are your thoughts on this 4-0 victory, which I'm super happy about? People are like, you upset that you didn't get to go. I was like, no, we got to win. I'll take it.
Oh yeah. No, I was so excited. And again, it proved that, Spencer knows what he's doing coaching wise, with a mental reset with Milano. All of a sudden he comes out and he looked hot. Obe Kubel, I think, in the beginning, I think, I won't speak for everybody, but I think he kind of came in with a little chip on his shoulder. Definitely had some stupid penalties, and it was like, okay, come on, 96. And I think now we're seeing a little bit more of a child. Like, I think he got married, and all of a sudden we're kind of seeing this like little change in personality. I'm all for it.
I said down too.
Yeah, Mantha, same thing.
That'll make you
I
change
think
real
he had
quick.
I think, didn't he just have a kid? I don't know. They whatever. But that Tommy goal, hot damn! Like, I could not have been more excited to see that. It was like all the way. And Gil, if you can just basically, I don't know, not even sum up, but if you could say exactly what you said on the podcast yesterday about this, the fact that do you remember?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. I was kind of waiting for the downloads to ramp up, but no. Okay. So yeah, here was the great thing about this play. Okay. So if you see the replay, Tommy breaks it out. He's on the forecheck, like CP3 mentioned, gets the puck, breaks it out of his own zone by himself. Here's the beauty of this play. He gets into the zone. Who does he have on his right wing? Ovi.
Yeah.
You've got an 800+ career goal scorer on your right wing. Okay? What does he do? He doesn't pass. He calls his own number. He trusts his own shot. And you look at this shot, and Shesterkin knew the shot was coming, because if you see the replay, Shesterkin is square to the shot. So he knew it was coming. And Tom saw that, and he still trusted himself, and he still got it past his glove hand and tucked it under the corner. Beautiful.
Yeah, it was incredible goal. And what I love about it is, though, Ovechkin's still eating up space, right? Because he's still square to him, but the defender has to drift to take Ovi a little bit. You have to, because you have to assume your goalie's gonna be squared to him, and someone's got to take Ovechkin. Because if neither the goalie or the defender takes him, Tom would have made that pass, right?
Yeah.
Because and so and it would have been an easy tap in, right? There'd be nothing there. So there's still a lot of value in that for Ovechkin. That people, it's not a tangible thing, because it's not an assist on the stat line, right? There's no place on the scoreboard for what that play is, right? But it's still an important play, and it still ultimately leads to that goal. And it's an important one because it's the third goal, which I mean, kind of is the little bit the nail of the coffin, because 2-goal leads we all know are pretty easy for them to disappear, especially against New York. And I got to give Charlie Lindgren huge props. It was a game against his brother. I know. And so they got a picture beforehand. I loved hearing the article about that and how he had to do it for his dad, but he really didn't even want to see his brother before, because there's no brother, before the game, which I'm like, oh man,
no family.
No family is what he said. I was like, oh man, that's something. And I get it, that mentality. You have to as a goalie in the NHL, but that's still I guess it's hard for me to understand. I'm an only child, but it seems like having children and watching them grow, I'm like, oh man, that's a pretty good thing to say. But I'm happy that he won the Lindgren Bowl, and he said that he would have never heard the end of it if his brother scored, so he made sure that there was no goals, so there was no chance of it. So I kind of love that. So
that's the way life of an athlete, baby.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm going to go through the Chicago goals and get our thoughts on this one. Chicago does score first in it. Anthony Mantha gets on the board with that assist by Connor McMichael, the one I was talking about with that great, I keep on using the word sauce, because he gets up and under that puck, and it just goes right up the ice, and perfect lead. Anthony Mantha collects it in stride, and he's beaten the only players that could defend him, and a beautiful goal. And he's got great hands, and I'm just happy because early in the season he was starting to hit those goalposts again, and you started to see some of those same tendencies we've seen for the last couple of seasons. I was like, oh no, this guy's just so snake bit. Then he started to get hot for a little bit, and then he got hurt. And I was like, oh Jesus, how does this keep happening to this guy? And so I'm happy that he can have a little bit of success here, and hopefully continue it rolling to prove that the early season success wasn't a fluke, and and coming back from the injury. Then Dylan Strome, who's just been probably the best player on our team this season. I'll totally just put it out there. He got his 11th goal of the season. Edmondson gets his first assist, and Ovechkin gets his 11th assist. And then Nick Dowd gets his third goal of the season. Beck Malenstein and Nick Jensen, third and fourth assists, respectively. That line was phenomenal all night. Nick Dowd would get another goal in the third period, his fourth in the season. Kubel gets his fourth assist, and Beck Malenstein gets his fourth. So that whole line pretty much has all got 4 assists now. And somebody is given thank you. So Ginger Dory just subscribed to tier 1. I appreciate it for 13 months. So I appreciate all the subscribes and all this stuff tonight. So then they get 1 goal back at the very end, but it ends up being a 4-2 victory. Our friend Zach, from a bunch of the Caps groups, who's been on the show before, actually made the trip to Chicago, and he's seen a lot of hat tricks for Ovi in Chicago, so we were hoping that he could come alive, but I'm still happy he got to see a win regardless. But I'll go to Carol first. What were your thoughts on this game?
It was a pretty good game, unfortunately. Like you said, Chicago scored first, which has been one of the issues for the Capitals this season so far, but they've been able to bounce back. Strome, he's been playing lights out. Like you say, he got the team leading goals. He's been, active in the defensive zone. He's been playing a good 200-foot game. And to me, it was just them taking care of business and beating the team that they should have beat. And I'm glad that dude Bedard didn't get a goal against us. Then when they've been hearing about all of that, so they handle their business. They look good, and hopefully they'll get them ready for the game against the Flyers on Thursday.
So the Giants just punted and then forced a fumble. Well, the guy dropped the ball. Then he picked it up, and instead of just landing on it, which they tell you to do at that point, just give up on the punt return. He tries to pick it up and scoop and run with it. So then it gets punched out again. And then the Giants get the ball. And yeah, they are down currently 10-7. Carol, we got this crazy thing going on. There's 2 NFL football games going on simultaneously at the exact same time on Monday Night Football. Usually they're like staggered a little bit. It's like halftime. Everything's at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was just checking out the Tennessee game that I was on FanDuel, and now Tyreek Hill is gone with an ankle injury. So there goes my bet.
Oh no.
It's just been a rough weekend, man.
Yeah, Carol, you keep betting on players and they keep going down. I don't know.
I'm starting to think I just need to go ahead and stop, man. It's my first season actually, betting with the
I
$5
know it is. It's been
parlay.
brutal. You jinxed a lot of teams and
I'm
players.
like 5 and like 100 right now, Rob. I think I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the towel, man.
Yeah, so
In there.
I'm about to stop betting on hockey. Fuck it.
just not on the Caps. Bet on our enemies. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I got it. I don't know. I think I'm about to just throw in the towel. I'm about to start playing hopscotch or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
Bingo.
So, all right. Carol, any more thoughts on this game?
No, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and wrap up. I know Anna probably got to get out of here, and you guys are, I probably held you up longer than I'm supposed to, but
You're
I'm
all
glad.
good. I'm just happy that you got to be on.
I know.
Always hold the door for you, my man. You are moving up in the world, making us all look good and look make us all proud. Love it.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna set some stuff up. Like I said, if I get some traction with the Capitals, y'all know y'all the first people I'm gonna call to set some things up. So be on the lookout, especially if they come across this bridge of Arlington. I'll be even closer to them. I haven't got a chance to get to Kettler yet, but it's still on my list.
Awesome.
Hot damn.
Y'all have a good night. Appreciate it as always. Enjoy the break. And next year I definitely try to jump back on probably in January. I should be able to jump back on.
Yeah.
So y'all have a good rest of the show, good break, and Happy New Year if I don't talk to you in Christmas before then, and Hanukkah, all the good stuff, and appreciate all the new Twitch subscribers, and Robbie's doing a great job branching out to a new platform, bringing in new viewers to bringing some of this great sports content that they might not know about, and with all the IT stuff that I don't know about. So I'm happy to see everything is expanding. You guys are working good together, and it makes me proud to, be the person to bring all of you guys together.
Wrong button. All right, hold on. I'm gonna start another recording real quick. Sorry about that. Anyway, well, that was kind of good. That was kind of the end of the hockey one. So if I need to do it,
recording in progress.
I hit a different button. Of course, that was not what I did. Anyway, thank you, Carol. It was a wonderful segment as always. We'll bring in Champ now, as well, and then we'll kind of end our hockey segment here. I'll get your guys' final thoughts on them, but just we don't often have a crossover, but we don't have a football segment tonight. Well, I mean, we'll talk about the NFL, but not the Commanders at least.
Talk about the Niners.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy that the Niners won. It's interesting that the Eagles lost again, 2 weeks in a row. So it's creating a lot of interesting storylines here towards the end of the season. Some crazy games yesterday. We'll get into some of that NFL talk for sure. Let me finish the hockey talk, and I will let you talk about the Niners for a second at the end as well.
I gotta jump off in a few, but yes, go ahead.
Yes. All right, so I want to get both of your guys' quick thoughts on the Chicago one, and then we'll talk about the upcoming season. So I'll start off with you, Anna. What were some of your thoughts on the Chicago one?
You know what? I enjoyed this. I like to see Dowd on there twice. I think he's one that we haven't talked about as much. We haven't focused on as much, but I think that he brings something. There's just a drive with him that is just fantastic. Mantha, what can you say? Glad to see it. And Strom. Although I will say, aside from Protus, I'm also becoming a huge Malenstein fan. I mean, not becoming, was before, but I think those seem to be the two players that I just feel really good about going into the next couple of games, because I have to admit, like, I'm a little about the next 3 games coming up.
Yeah.
So
Gil, final thoughts on the Chicago game?
Well, no two ways about it. I think when you really look at things, the fourth line won that game for the Caps. They not only got the 2 crucial goals, they helped shut things down when things got kind of sloppy at the end. And the 2 goals they did get were the greasy variety. And as this team kind of figures itself out, they need to get more of those goals. We've been saying it here a lot, but it's because it's true. And so the more that they learn how to do that, and that they need that, that's another good sign for this team.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the week ahead. There's some pretty crazy. I'm taking a chance. I'm sharing it to one Capitals group. Let's see if Facebook bans me for this. Every single day for 2 weeks since it's happened or whatever it's been, I get a new notification of another thing that they've like taken away. I was like, you deleted all of them. Just say that. Like, why do I get a notification every day reminding me that you dislike me? And meanwhile, Gil, you'll like this. 5 different Facebook groups have asked me to moderate them within the last 2 weeks. So like, the people want me in the groups, but I can't share to the groups because that would be considered spam, right? I'm like, gotta love Facebook.
That's nuts.
Yeah. All right. Thursday, December 14th, Philadelphia. We got Saturday against Nashville. Sunday, December 17th, it's Carolina. I'm going to go through a longer thing, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts on this week, but I just want to go through all of it because we're gone for a couple of weeks. But then we're playing the Islanders. Then we go to Columbus. We play Tampa at home. Then we have a road trip where we play the Rangers and Islanders. Then we play Smashville again. So twice in 1 month. This time will be on December 30th will be the home one. And then we go to Pittsburgh on the 2nd of January. We have New Jersey and Carolina and Los Angeles as our 3-game homestand, and then we come back on air. So we'll really be recapping those last 3 or 4 games. But overall, we're playing 5 games against teams that we're fighting for in playoff positioning right now, out of the 13 games that will happen between now and the next show. With that being, so with the major ones being obviously the Islanders, the Rangers, and Philadelphia, and to some extent like New Jersey, who's right behind us, right? And Carolina is always a tough out just because they're kind of a division rival and things like that. But thinking about the schedule as a whole, I know it's a longer schedule than we usually talk about, but Gil, what are your thoughts going in the next couple of weeks?
Well, we've said this a lot already in that they've played some top tier teams already and come out very well for the most part. But I think this stretch, that the one you just described, all the way up to and into the new year and beyond, that's going to be probably the truest test, because not only are we dealing with yet another road swing, although it's not very far from home, but it's still a road trip. That has a way of making or breaking a season, and then you're going to have the holiday break, and then you're going to pick up again. And we've seen this team not do well from extended breaks, so that'll be another telltale sign. So I'm not going to say this is a make or break time, because we'll still not quite be halfway through yet, but it's going to be very interesting. I mean, look, let's have some big perspective here. This team, we are 2 weeks away from, well, we've already lit the menorah. We're 2 weeks away from unwrapping presents. The Caps still do not have 10 regulation losses. Okay? Last year hadn't even carved the turkey yet. They'd already lost 10 games of regulation. That's the difference. So if you're not pleased with how this team is doing, then I don't know what you've been watching.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Everyone here is pretty excited. Actually, I feel like I can bring you guys in too. Why not? We're gonna bring everybody in. I've got a live feed here. We can Have Arun and Tim also live.
RG3.
RG3
RG3 cam over here.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, let's see if this is. There we go. Oh, too many buttons.
I know, Robbie, I feel terrible. I have like only about a minute or so and then I gotta jump off.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So Anna, you give your quick thoughts on the 49ers and then I'll let you go.
Oh, what's not to, oh, come on. Okay, I am loving this team. Loving. And I will say, I know everyone's like all about McCaffrey, who I do have a special tie with him, but I'm all about George Kittle. 100% George Kittle, love. I don't know. I'm just excited. I just think it's amazing. Also to see Purdy back from what happened last year to now, and I'm excited. I think they've been playing consistent. They've been playing well, and I'm pumped. And anytime the Niners can take out fucking Pete Carroll and that gum chewing annoyance that I can't stand with him twice a season, I love it because I hate the Seahawks.
Debo Samuel helped me keep my chances alive in the playoffs. So big
Oh,
shout out
hell
to him.
yeah. No, I'm not saying it. Debo's not, but I just have it some like little place in my heart for George Kittle
Yeah.
in this little
Here.
thing that he does.
George Kittle's a huge wrestling fan, by the way. Huge wrestling fan.
He
Yeah.
is. He is. And you know what? There's just something that like I just love him. And there's just something about the team. The coach is well, he's intense, as was his dad, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't have anything negative to say about the Niners. I'm just enjoying this ride.
Yeah. I'm happy we could do this crossover and have all 6 of the regulars of the show between the Wizards and the Capitals roundtable. And the fact that we all got to actually go to that hockey game together, which is, kind of a super fun thing that we got to do to celebrate my birthday a couple weeks ago. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it was that was a fun night. This has been a fun night. Anna, I know we kept you, probably 45 minutes.
No. It's totally fine. I have my daughter just being like, all right, I gotta ask you something. It's like, okay, she's
okay,
a
sorry.
concert,
Well,
winter concert tomorrow. And
Yeah, I appreciate that. But anyway, well, thank you so much. Well, hopefully have you back on the 8th, maybe in January, and talk
100%.
weeks, and you can help us recap this crazy 3-week period for the Capitals, and then it'll also be the national championship for the college football as well. So it'll be a big night when we come back that'll be our winter
Yay.
season premiere. This is our fall season finale. It's just kind of crazy that it's gone so quick, but
It is. Well, and I hope you had a fantastic birthday. It looked like you did. I'm glad that we voted for you guys to do the dinner, even though
yeah,
the
I
game
am too. Regardless of whether the fact the Caps won, and even if they got in a shutout in the Lindgren Bowl, I am excited that we got to have a rare dinner out, and there'll always be more hockey games. And the hockey game we all went to celebrate for my birthday together, was a great game. So
awesome.
Who knows? Maybe I would have jinxed it by trying to double dip. So I'm happy we got the win. So,
Well, and I look forward to seeing dive videos when
Yes.
you head off for your lovely vacation. And I hope everybody who's listening, happy, healthy holiday, and let's cheers to a kick-ass 2024.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, it's so great to see you as always, and we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yes, you will. Take care. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Night, Anna.
Bye, Anna.
Bye, champ. Take care.
So that's great. She did mention it is Hanukkah. I haven't even talked about that. So happy Hanukkah to everyone that's celebrating. I did get to say and do prayers. I have my cousin here, which was kind of fun to do it with family tonight, and it was cool to have a Hanukkah birthday, although it feels like my birthday almost always falls on Hanukkah. Someone did the math for me the other week and showed that it was statistically improbable, so it's always around, but it's rarely on that day is what I found out. So it was cool that we got to do that, and it was a great birthday overall. I have no regrets, going out and having a wonderful dinner, and it's been fun. But Gil, give one last shout out before we let you go about what's on your podcast this week.
Yeah, nothing too fancy, I'm afraid. We just do a quick recap, basically, of the 3 games that we just went over, including very briefly the stinker in Arizona. My God, trying to forget that, but yeah, that's and as we've always done, a quick evaluation of the team so far, and what to look for in the coming weeks. So, if you haven't tuned in, please do. And as always, we invite anybody who's a Caps fan who wants to have their say to come on and do just that.
Yes, I appreciate everyone. It's such a great show over there. And I was actually gonna want to listen to it this morning, but then there's a 2-hour snow delay that completely just made my day crazy, which I appreciate the 1 extra hour of sleep, but the amount of chaos that it throws into my life, I always wonder if it's worth it. But I appreciate you, Gil, for joining me for, I think it was every episode of this fall season. So I appreciate that. And it's been a ton of fun, and I'm happy we got to go to a game together, and I look forward to talking to you in 3 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, it's been great. I really appreciate you having me on, and yeah, it's been a blast. So thanks, gentlemen, and good show, and happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, and love to the family as always.
Thank you so much, Gil. I appreciate it.
Happy holidays.
Night.
All right. Awesome. So let me change a couple of graphics. Welcome in Pak D and Tina French. Thank you again for those bits earlier. That was really awesome. Let me change my graphics over